Right now on Upfront.
Primary intensifying.
This is the only fundraising deadline. It's the big one.
The Democratic candidates for governor at their state convention this weekend and on the campaign trail.
There is every reason for people to be frustrated and to carry out that frustration this November.
Just as we announce our primary debate now weeks away. The still lingering fallout from the failed tax relief deal.
We're going to need to work with Democrats, so we should be at the table too.
This Sunday, Democratic State Party Chairman Devin Remiker. The governor's race, the state of the Democratic Party, all ahead. Football TV fight.
The NFL is not a fragile enterprise in need of special protection.
Congress targeting the league's decades-old broadcasting law, and the Packers waving a flag of their own.
So the Packers themselves have called changes to the Sports Broadcasting Act a potential existential threat to their existence.
Just off leading a key hearing, Republican Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, and the NFL here to respond. New changes.
Let's be honest, they did a bait and switch.
The bipartisan shared revenue law now several years in. Now, one of the law's co-authors says mistakes were made. Revelations on what Representative Tony Kurtz wants next, just moments away.
This is Upfront with Jaron Jordan and political director Matt Smith.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. A little politics entering the world of football this weekend. Just as Packers minicamp wraps up in Green Bay, the third week of OTA starting tomorrow ahead of training camp next month. And now a growing debate in Congress about how and where football fans can watch the NFL and how much that's going to cost consumers. The Packers sure weighing in on this as Republican Congressman Scott Fitzgerald leading a House Judiciary Subcommittee hearing this past week about the Sports Broadcasting Act. The 1961 law allows the NFL to negotiate broadcast deals collectively and then distribute the revenue equally among all 32 NFL teams.
A Green Bay Packers fan who lives in Dallas, Texas, grew up in Green Bay, loves the Packers, wants to watch the Packers. Grew up in Dallas, Texas. For the 2026 season, the Packers are scheduled to play 8 games on Fox, 2 games on Amazon Prime Video, 2 games on Netflix, 2 games on NBC, 1 game on ESPN, 1 game on CBS, and 1 unscheduled game that is left to be determined by the NFL.
Wisconsin Congressman Scott Fitzgerald led that hearing. He joins us now. Congressman, welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be with you guys.
Did Congressman Jordan put into a nutshell the concerns here from some lawmakers?
Absolutely. I mean, the consumers and the people in the district that I speak to that have an opinion about any of these topics are just adamant that, this needs to be reined in. And this isn't something that we just dreamed up. I mean, there's a class action lawsuit in the Ninth Circuit going after the NFL. Now the FCC is open an investigation, and now the Department of Justice. So it appeared it was time for the Antitrust Committee, which I'm chairing right now, to dig into this issue and explore it. And I thought the hearing that we had this week in D.C. Did a very good job of kind of laying out the different issues related to the Sports Broadcasting Act, which has been in place since 1961, negotiated by Commissioner Pete Rozelle to carve out a place in federal statutes for professional leagues. And certainly the NFL has taken advantage of that. And I think you can make the case probably that they're in violation of that at this point.
So what is the end game for you at this point, at least, Congressman? I mean, do you want to get rid of the Sports Broadcasting Act?
No, I don't think that would be necessary. And actually, some of the witnesses we had that testified kind of gave, at least some credence to the idea of, listen, there's certain things that should be tweaked, but overall, the full elimination of it could create kind of the wild, wild west, and nobody wants to see that. I mean, we all love the NFL. We love football in Wisconsin and the Green Bay Packers. Whether it's MLB and the Brewers or the Bucks in the NBA, I mean, all of them, are beloved by their fan base. It's just, I think they've flexed their muscles so many times that we find ourselves in a situation where it needs to be reviewed, and that's my job. That's why I'm here in D.C. as chairman of the Antitrust Subcommittee, is to do just that. So I thought we had a good hearing, and we'll see if it results in in tweaks to the SBA.
As you know, your hometown team, the Packers, have been pushing back on this a little bit and targeting you, to be quite frank. In a letter, they said if we eliminate the SBA, talking about the collective bargaining aspect of this, or the shared revenue aspect of this, they say the shared revenue would pose an existential threat to the Green Bay Packers and their existence in Green Bay as we know it. How are you responding to the Packers?
That's absolutely ridiculous and almost laughable. Let me first say, when it comes to the NFL, shared revenue is not an issue. And matter of fact, I don't care how the NFL divides up the pie amongst the teams in the NFL. It's not something that's even affected by the SBA. So that is absolutely the Packers going for kind of hair on fire. Oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end if this would be tweaked. There are examples too. I mean, MLB right now, the Brewers are a small market team and truly have a hard time competing with the Dodgers. It's not something that's across all the professional sports leagues, but when it comes to the NFL, the Packers are going to be fine.
Are you surprised at how much the Packers and the league is pushing back on Congress and you? I mean, they're painting you guys as the bad guys in this.
No, we're the bad guys? No, they're very powerful. Obviously, the commissioner has kind of flexed their muscle on numerous times when there's any pushback about anything related to the NFL. No, I'm not surprised by it at all.
Congressman, like always, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Good to be with you.
With that, let's bring in Jeff Miller, the NFL's Executive Vice President of Public Affairs and Policy, Player and Health and Safety Initiatives. He joins us now. Jeff, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So we just heard from Congressman Fitzgerald coming off the hearing, and he told us that Congress could likely make the case that the league is in violation of the Sports Broadcasting Act. I'm just curious your initial response to that.
Yeah, we don't see it the same way as the congressman. Listen, this bill was passed in 1961 to provide the league and other sports leagues the opportunity to collectively negotiate the distribution of our media rights. And we've done that for the past, 65 years. And in keeping with that, and it's been a great benefit to our fans who get every game, at least in the home team's markets, on free over-the-air broadcast. Great for the clubs who have been able to compete equally because we distribute the revenue equally. So obviously great for Packers fans out there that their team can thrive on and off the field. And certainly good for the league as we've grown over the years.
To this argument that was discussed in the committee hearing, and I'm sure you've heard and the league has heard from fans as well, is that, listen, it's getting hard to watch my teams. I have to have this streaming service. I have to have that streaming service. What is the NFL's response not only to Congress but to fans on that issue, I guess, as well?
Look, it's an important question. Certainly, we want to make sure that our fans find our games. And last year, we had the second highest rated year that we've had from a ratings perspective. So the fans are finding the games. 87% of all NFL games are primarily distributed on broadcast television, which is the same that it's been for many, many years.
Is the league willing to work with Congress on any potential changes to the SBA?
Listen, we talk to Congress all the time about this. We certainly get the importance of it as a fan issue and a constituent issue. So we've been in talks about our media distribution policies, not just with the House, but with the Senate, with the FCC, with anybody else who wants to talk about it, because we care about what our fans see. And we want to make sure that we're standing up in front of our fans in the most appropriate way. And I think we have an incredibly fan-friendly system for distributing our games and feel really comfortable sharing our story.
In this current discussion, do you have any indication what the end game may be here from at least some lawmakers who are taking this on right now?
Well, I guess I really don't. To answer your question directly, it's probably a good question for Congressman Fitzgerald. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly we're trying to get, what he's trying to do. I think that the system works incredibly well for the city of Green Bay and Packers fans. After all, and this is really important to me as somebody who grew up in Wisconsin, the fact that we can share all of our games and distribution of them and share the revenue collectively among all 32 teams permits the Green Bay Packers to exist, to thrive on the field and off the field. The Packers themselves have called changes to the Sports Broadcasting Act a potential existential threat to their existence. So this is not a small matter for the Green Bay Packers, and one would hope that whatever Congressman Fitzgerald wants to do here, he could do in conjunction with the Packers.
Is the Packers' concern overblown?
No, I don't think it's overblown at all. Certainly when one of our clubs stands up to its congressman, its congressman, Tony Weed, has been very supportive of the Packers. When the Packers stand up and say to the Wisconsin delegation that this is an existential threat to their existence, then I, as a representative of the league, believe them.
Conversation that looks like it will continue, at least on Capitol Hill. Jeff Miller, an NFL Executive VP. Jeff, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up, Democrats wrapping up their state convention today. Their party's chairman with us next.